Welcome to the latest Motley Fool scoreboard. I'm on Chalkmaloo. We've got longtime fools, Travis Hoyam and Dan Kaplinger, giving a 1 to 10 rating to a top 30 stock in the primary Hidden Gems database. It's Oddity, ticker symbol ODD. We're going to rate the strength of Oddity's business, including factors like industry and competition. As you'll see, it's a pretty competitive space. A 10 is invincible, a 1 is hopeless. Travis has a 6. Dan, you've got a 7.
Yeah, on an Oddity is taking a what I'm going to call tech-forward approach to a very much consumer-facing business, cosmetics and wellness. It's a pretty crowded space, but basically what they're doing is they're trying to put AI to use in gathering information from customers. Then they're trying to connect them to products that are going to work best for them using that technology. And the way that Oddity's approach has been engaging with customers, it's been really compelling on the consumer side. Oddity also having made some recent moves towards biotechnology as well as telehealth to try to leverage some of the data that it has collected early on, doing its best to expand an already fairly impressive addressable market.
Yeah, and I had to go a little bit lower here with 6. There's a lot of voodoo yada 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 here with Oddity, combining AI with wellness and beauty. There's a lot of buzzwords there. I don't know if that necessarily makes a great business, but I think the idea of personalizing some of these products, maybe not quite going mass market, but maybe being a little bit more individual, is really compelling. And that's why I think this is at least an intriguing company, given the fact that it is a little bit unknown exactly where they're going to go in the future. I just didn't go particularly high here for the business.
Yeah, it's like once bitten, twice shy with like a Stitch Fix kind
of
feel here. I'm a little skeptical. We'll see how we go through here. I'm very curious to learn more. Let's talk about management. A 10 is Warren Buffett. A 1 is Homer Simpson. Travis has an 8. Dan, you've got a 7.
Yeah, co-founder, CEO Orin Holtzman has been at the helm. He's done a good job of leading Oddity Tech through its initial public offering, growing it enough during its phase of privately held company to attract investor attention, and subsequently having continued to generate at least some hype and some financial strength in after the stock went public.
Yeah, I gotta go with a founder here. I love having companies that are still run by founders, and this isn't just a founder story. Sharon Holtzman Erel, if I'm saying that correctly, is also the chief product officer and is Holtzman's sister. So this is a founder-run company and a family business. I kind of like that dynamic.
Right. For financials, a 10 is a fortress, a 1 is yikes. Both of you have 8, Dan.
Yeah. When you look back to the numbers, the pre-IPO numbers that Oddity published in its S1, you can see it's had a very impressive early revenue growth track record. Mm-hmm. That has indeed slowed somewhat, but it has been profitable. It has done a good job of expanding margin over time. It's bringing in good amounts of free cash flow, and it has a pretty strong balance sheet, albeit with some convertible notes, but those convertible notes give Oddity the ability to repay with cash or stock in the future at terms that are favorable with no immediate interest outlay.
Yeah, I also went pretty high here with 8. I don't like that it's now $583 million worth of debt on the balance sheet. I just don't think that companies that are this young in their history need to be doing that, especially when you are profitable. I mean, it's so impressive that a company like this is so young. We're talking a little bit like this is a unprofitable company that's going to be burning money for years in the future, but that's just simply not the case. So the one big flaw is that debt on the balance sheet. But overall, I like what I'm seeing because you do have that revenue growth and you do have positive cash flow.
Yeah, profitability was the big word that I heard from both of you. We're like, oh, okay, profitable. That's kind of rare when we're talking about stuff like this. Travis, let's talk valuation. How well will Oddity stock do over the next 5 years? How safe is it? 10's a sure thing, 1's a lottery ticket.
I went 15% plus here. I like companies that have a lot of potential, a lot of optionality in the business. I think that's what you're getting with a company like Oddity if they're able to move into these wellness products, biotech, all kinds of things that we don't necessarily know what they're going to be making 5 or 10 years from now. That said, I went with a safety score of 3. So high potential, also very high risk for a company like Oddity.
That's very similar to the approach that I took. I have returns 10 to 15%, which may sound less optimistic, but that's actually well above what I'm usually recommending on the average stock these days. Slightly higher safety score of 6, but I think here's the deal. Oddity has done a good job embracing artificial intelligence. That has brought the company to investors' attention. Now it just has to execute. It has to figure out how it's going to capitalize, continue to grow profits over the long run. If there's a slowdown, fickle AI investors might just move to the next big thing.
Thank you to both Dan and to Travis. They've given Oddity a solid overall score of 7.1 out of 10 with no top hits. For me, it's in that bucket of, yeah, you know what? There's enough interesting here that maybe look a little further. I think checking out their actual product offerings is a good next step to just get a feel for things. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Stratasys. Till then, Fool on.